I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to the Chimaerus fight in the Dreamrift on normal and heroic difficulty. This is a single boss raid launching alongside the Void Spire. It's an ad fight where you pick up a debuff to access a phased version of the room where the ads are. Split the raid into 2 groups to start. Alndust Upheaval aims at the current tank. This does damage and applies Alnsight to players within 10 yards, sending them to the spooky phase. Get your first group in that, and then swap tanks once they've gone down. Alnsight comes with a debuff, so you cannot safely take it back to back. You'll need to alternate which group takes Alnsight each time to go fight and clear shields off of ads. If the down group is finishing things too quickly, you can shave some people off of that assignment and then just keep them up top all fight. Ads spawn in the Aln phase, and you must damage off an absorb shield to pop them back to reality. When they pop up, they drop a puddle. Once in reality, they'll fixate on the boss and must be killed before they get there. The down tank may want to bring the ads kind of away from where the boss is to buy you some space. Let's talk about those ads. Colossal Horror ads must be tanked. They will also roar, doing more damage with each roar they finish. Haunting Essences will cast Essence Bolts and Fearsome Cries. Keep the interrupts on the Fearsome Cry, or else everyone's getting feared. Swarming Shades are sort of extra filler ads. They need to die before they get eaten, but otherwise don't do anything fancy. I will say again, because it's life or death, once an ad is popped up into reality, it must die before reaching the boss. If Chimaerus eats an ad, he gets juiced to the gills, so stop those ads. Other things going on include some raid damage and healing absorbs for healers to play with, always fun. There's also Rending Tear for the tanks. It's a frontal cone aimed at the tank that knocks back and applies a bleed. Point that away from people and don't wander in front of the tank. At 100 energy, we get an air phase. The boss is immune here, so it's all about surviving and keeping up with ads. Corrupted Devastation does a strafing run across the arena, dropping puddles and spawning ads. Look at the path that he's aiming for and scoot to the side. Packs of ads will spawn. They're the same as the ads we had earlier, but this time you just gather them up and rinse them down. Clean those up before the boss lands, don't get squished when the boss comes back down, and then you're back to phase 1. The boss will reset your puddles when he lands, so it's a nice blank slate. On normal, that's it. On heroic, we get a new mechanic called Consuming Miasma. This is a minute-long dot that puts a 10-yard ring around players. When it's dispelled, it does an AoE and clears puddles within that ring. Run to a puddle with the debuff and get dispelled to tidy up the room. Healers need to be careful not to dispel early. Watch those itchy fingers. Do take it off quickly though, once the target is away from friends and on a puddle. Also on heroic, Ravenous Dive, when the boss comes back from his air phase, no longer cleans puddles. If you fight this for too long, your floor is gonna get mucky. And that's Chimaerus. Thanks for watching. I've got more raid guides if you want them, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.